On HBO's Boxing After Dark, undefeated junior bantamweight Johnny Tapia faces highly regarded Giovanni Andrade. And rising star Marco Antonio Barrera takes on former champion Kennedy McKinney in a junior featherweight bout. One night removed from Magic versus Michael, the Great Western Forum turns the spotlight on the harder knocked end of the sporting spectrum as stars gather at ringside for the first edition of HBO's Boxing After Dark with all the trimmings. A chance for us to showcase rising stars who might not yet be ready for exposure on our Blue Ribbon Primetime series, but who will get that exposure here on Boxing After Dark. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim Lampley. We welcome you to this first installment of a series that we hope is going to provide you over these next few years with a lot of entertainment, late night entertainment that is all action and not very much talk. Here to talk a little bit with us, 168-pound world champion, regarded by many as the best fighter in the world, and the man who's going to be the full-time expert commentator for Boxing After Dark, Roy Jones Jr. And Roy, in the second fight of the evening, you're going to be seeing an old friend of yours, because 8 years ago in Seoul, South Korea, when you didn't get an Olympic gold medal in that controversy and injustice of the decision in your fight, Kennedy McKinney did get a gold medal. A lot of water under the bridge since then. He's now 30 years old. What chance that Kennedy can come up with a huge effort tonight against a younger, stronger, quicker fighter in Marco Antonio Barrera?
Well, Kennedy has been through a lot in a professional career. He's managed to capture a world title, hold it for a substantial amount of time, and now he's lost it, and he seems to be on somewhat of a decline. However, every man in boxing seeks to be on the top. He's getting a chance of a lifetime to once again climb to the top of that ladder. He will be ready tonight, and I think he will give it a very, very gallant effort.
All right, and Roy's going to be with us on every edition of Boxing After Dark when he's not in training for his own fights on HBO. Also with us, of course, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, the Barrera-McKinney fight is the second bout of the evening. In the first, we're going to be seeing one of the most colorful figures in the sport in Johnny Tapia. I mentioned hard knocks. He's had as many as any active boxer today. At what point is a tough life outside the ring likely to catch up to Johnny in the ring?
I just have to assume, Jim, that since he's been as destructive inside the ring as he's been self-destructive outside the ring, it's going to take a younger, better fighter to finally stop him. And the record shows it. He is unbeaten. In case you don't know about Johnny Tapia, his not-so-wonderful life comes down to this. Never knew his father. His mother was brutally raped and murdered when he was 8 years old. He's been in and out of trouble ever since. He says, I was a lost child. He says, I'm never happy outside the ring. That's one of the most heartbreaking things I ever heard, at least until I heard his opponent, Andrade, tell us that sometimes poor people can't afford to love their children. He himself was abandoned as a child, grew up in the streets of São Paulo, Brazil, sometimes slept in the ring of a gymnasium, and finally was rescued by an antique dealer who shepherded him through high school, and he's got his life together. With these kinds of fighters and stories, Jim, there will always be Boxing After Dark in one form or another.
Indeed, if you could buy the movie rights to the background stories of these two fighters, and some people at ringside might be thinking of exactly that, you might have yourself a hot property. Well, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for Johnny Tapia and the relatively unknown Brazilian Giovanni Andrade. You can see that Tapia is 3 years older. At one point, his career was interrupted for 3.5 years because of his problem with cocaine. Andrade with a 1-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. We don't know a whole heck of a lot about him, but he is reputed to have a strong right hand. Quickly now to the rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Latterman. Harold?
The Johnny Tapia Giovanni Andrade fight is scheduled for 12 rounds. There is no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. The referee or the doctor can stop the fight, and you can be saved by the bell only in the last round. Jim?
All right, Harold, we are at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, an ideal place to begin this Boxing After Dark series, and here comes Giovanni Andrade for his first fight in the United States. 20 previous professional fights that we can document, 15 of them in his native Brazil and 5 in Argentina. Andrade's hometown of Sao Paulo, Brazil, has a population, we're told, of 20 million. Kind of nice for him to come to the sleepy little burg of LA for his first exposure in the USA. Andrade's record, and again, this is what we can document. He started out yesterday in the meeting claiming to have had at least 5 more fights than this, all wins, but all of the information sources we can find list him at 18 wins, 2 losses, 13 KOs. And now here comes the popular Johnny Tapia. Johnny Tapia has lost a couple of battles outside the ring, but he's never lost one in the ring. 33 wins, no losses, 2 draws, 19 KOs. He is a relentless, passionate fighting machine. And before we go to the ring announcer, and you see Ray Leonard, who now owns a piece of Johnny Tapia, giving him a hug there. Before we go into the ring announcer, Michael Buffer, Larry Merchant, your words on an important subject in boxing this week.
Jim, Dan Duva, who ran the family fight business known as Main Events, died earlier this week. And the best tribute we can pay to him is to point out that they thrived by developing young fighters like Pernell Whitaker, Evander Holyfield, Meldrick Taylor, that their fighters never complained about being ripped off, that they never broke contracts. He was an orchid in the swamp that boxing often is, and we send our condolences to his family.
And now for more on Dan Duva and on this upcoming boxing match, let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Before we get started, there is a very sad duty indeed that must be performed at this time. Just a few days ago, a very prominent figure in the world of boxing passed away. He was without a doubt one of the most well-known boxing promoters in the world, Mr. Dan Duva. He was a man who was respected by all those who worked for him and with him, and indeed those who were his competitors admired him for his honesty and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we would like to toll a memorial count of 10 for Dan Duva. As is the tradition in the world of boxing, please remain silent while we toll 10 bells. We'll miss you, Dan. Rest in peace. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Great Western Forum, serving the greater Los Angeles area here in Englewood, California, where tonight, Forum Boxing in association with your undisputed, undefeated King of Beers, Budweiser, presents World Championship Boxing. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission Chairman William Eastman, Vice Chairman, Hall of Famer from the NFL, Mr. Willie Buchanan, Commissioners in attendance, Kim Wilshans and Andrew Kim, Executive Officer Richard DeCure. The timekeepers are Aaron Koslow and John Lichty. Your physicians at ringside are Dr. Robert Carnes and Dr. Paul Wallace. This bout is also sanctioned by the World Boxing Organization. President and supervisor at ringside, Francisco Barcarcel. The 3 judges scoring this bout on a 10-point must system will be Dave Nelson, Horacio Bacamon, and Tomas Vasquez. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of the action, referee Raul Caiz. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Great Western Forum, 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Junior Bantamweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner wearing white trimmed with gold and weighing 115 pounds. His professional record, 18 victories with only 2 defeats, 13 of his 18 victories by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, introducing the #1 ranked challenger in the world, Giovanni Andrade. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trimmed with turquoise and also weighing in exactly at 115 pounds. His professional record, 33 victories without a loss, with 2 draws, 19 knockouts. Ladies and gentlemen, from Albuquerque, New Mexico, presenting the undefeated WBO Junior Bantamweight Champion of the World, the baby-faced assassin, Johnny Tapia.
Giovanni. Ok, muchachos, ya les di las instrucciones ahí abajo. Cuidado con el golpe bajo, el huesito aquí, para abajo es golpe bajo, ¿ok? Ahora dense la mano, buena suerte a los dos. Papi.
Roy, Johnny Tapia has never seen this fighter fight, knows really nothing about him. How does he go about dealing, at least with his reputation as a good right-hand puncher?
Well, he first goes out, moves to his right to avoid the right hand, but right away I'm sure Tapia will let this guy, Giovanni, know that he is in the ring with the champion.
They touch gloves, and round 1 begins between Johnny Tapia and Giovanni Andrade. And the appellation on the back of Tapia's trunks, Mi Vida Loca, My Crazy Life in English, could apply to either fighter.
Tapia is a guy who can really have a lot of respect for the position that he is in now. He's been through the worst things that he probably could have been through, and now he's back at the top, and he realizes how great it is to be at the top.
Tapia blocks a right-hand lead with his glove. Even when he's not punching, Tapia is a constant blur of motion. Good head movement. The shoulders are rolling. The hands are popping as he gets ready to throw. Andrade, a little bit more conventional in there.
My assumption is that Andrade's left shoulder is turned too far to the front. Therefore, Tapia would time him coming around with the right hand and nail him with the right hand of his own.
And Tapia lands a right hand there. First heavy blow of the fight for Johnny. Andrade reaching with the left hand, not yet able to land a right. And his jab appears tentative at best, Roy.
Yes, very tentative because he doesn't like to stretch it all the way out. And his shoulder is so far forward until he can't really throw an effective jab. He's going to be in for a long night here, I think. His front feet has all his weight on it, and that's very wrong for a fighter to do.
Andrade backing up and keeping a distance, so Tapia not able to throw a lot so far in the first round. The closer Andrade gets, the more Tapia will crank it up.
Are you saying, Roy, that he's an unorthodox fighter? Because many people have accused you of that.
Very unorthodox, but I don't keep my weight on my front foot. My weight stays either in the middle or behind.
Enables you to generate more power.
That's right. That's why I can knock him out from all angles. This guy only can knock you out with the right hand because his front foot is almost flat at times.
Andrade stepping in closer and trying to get a little bit more on the jabs. Slips there. Johnny Tapia with a hard right hand to the middle of Andrade's chest.
Andrade performs like a guy who doesn't have very much experience.
No experience here in the USA. All of his fights, as we told you, in Brazil and Argentina. So far, Johnny Tapia has been content to wait for his opportunities and try to capitalize with power punches.
That was the right hand that I was speaking of, that Tapia should try to catch him with. He almost timed him coming from that back shoulder with his own right hand.
Okay, you got to keep throwing punches. You got to keep this guy at bay. He is coming too close to you. He's getting too close to you. You need to jab more. He says he's slipping. He doesn't have a blade to need to scratch it.
Very good. He won the first round already. First round is at home. Just be careful with the right hand, that's all. Stay with the right hand. Stay there. Okay, baby.
Round 2, and throughout the evening, as one of our many innovations here on Boxing After Dark, we'll show you via graphic how Harold Letterman has scored each preceding round.
Tapia impressed me very highly with his patience in that first round.
And now Johnny Tapia begins to open up. Having seen how tentative Andrade is with the jab, and Andrade threw 31 jabs in the first round, landed only 2 by punch stat computations. Now he sticks one in with some resolution, and maybe he's starting to feel a little bit more secure. Tapia backs up from the right hand.
Andrade has leather-soled shoes, and this is causing him to slip very much in this fight.
The key mystery in Andrade's outfit is why he has a flag of Korea on the back of his trunks. The flag of Brazil we can understand, but on the back left there's a flag of Korea, and frankly, I wasn't warned about that. Hard right hand by Tapia as Andrade moves away. Andrade, an awkward-looking puncher, and now Tapia lands a light blow down low, and Andrade decides that it was nearly life-threatening. Takes a few seconds off and then decides to come right back. Referee is Raul Cais.
If he doesn't win
counter right hand inside by Tapia. Andrade is woozy. Tapia got an opportunity as Andrade was missing with one of those lefts, and he knocks him down.
That was a slip.
I think that was a partial slip too, Roy. And you could see his shoes slide out from under him.
Okay, vamos. You ever wear leather-soled shoes, Roy?
No, because I know that they slip very badly. Another low blow.
Another low blow by Tapia, and again, Andrade is badly hurt by this one. Harold Letterman, what's the rule?
Well, if the referee doesn't recognize the low blow, this kid, Johnny Tapia wins by a TKO. I mean, the referee has to call it the shot low. If the referee doesn't see that it's a low blow, then Johnny Tapia wins the fight.
You can see that all of Tapia's corner people are in the ring. I'm not sure if the referee has stopped the fight or not.
This guy should stay out here in Hollywood, though, if he doesn't win this fight.
I believe the referee is suggesting that it was a legal punch. He didn't see it as a low punch. I saw it as a low punch, but it certainly didn't seem to have the force to do what Andrade is claiming it did.
He came here with his trunks up high. Maybe he was looking for this excuse the whole time.
Well, there did seem to be a little bit of a delayed reaction. He takes the punch on the cup. There's a momentary pause, and then he goes down in mortal agony. Happened twice. Anybody see any official signal that the referee stopped this bout? Roy, Larry, you see anything?
No, I didn't see anything.
I thought the referee did signal the end of the bout when he came in.
Knockout, I didn't see a low blow.
All right, here's the first low blow. Larry?
That was definitely a very low blow. I mean, that was way down in Tierra del Fuego, but it didn't seem to be as hard. Now, let's see this last one.
That was a low blow, too.
It was a slightly low blow as well, yes, on the hip bone.
Yeah, it appeared to be a glancing blow, and it certainly didn't appear to be down there on the center of the cup, where Andrade is indicating it landed.
Both, how did you see it?
Well, Larry, listen to me a second. If a fighter is pulling the other fighter's head down and the guy throws a punch, how in God's name can't the shot go low? In other words, Andrade, on the first low blow, Andrade definitely had Johnny Tapia behind the head. At the same time, Tapia let go of the punch, which he was aiming for the body, so of course it was going to go low. You can't call that a low blow because Andrade was committing a foul by pulling his head down.
All right, let's go up to Michael Buffer right now because apparently there are official particulars on this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Raul Caiz calls a halt to the bout. The official time is 2 minutes, 26 seconds of round number 2. The winner by knockout victory, and still the undefeated WBO Junior Bantamweight Champion of the World, the baby-faced assassin, Johnny Tapia.
So on Andrade's first trip to the United States, he catches his 3rd loss, and I'm sure that he and his people are going to say it is an injustice. Johnny Tapia gets his 34th win. 20th knockout for Tapia, and let's take another look at the first low blow and see what Harold was talking about with regard to holding the head. Yep, hand behind the left hand behind the head.
Harold is definitely right. This pulls the top of the guy's body down lower, so his punch comes at a lower shot than it's supposed to.
That was the first low blow. And this is still the first low blow, and an overhead look at Andrade holding Johnny Tapia's head. And now Larry stands by in the ring with the man who's been judged the winner, Johnny Tapia.
Johnny, were those low blows, both of them?
I don't know. I was just shooting punches to go to his body, but he would try to duck on me. And I like to give a lot of thanks to the Lord, you know.
In the first knockdown, it looked like he was pulling your head down. Was that the reason that went very, very low, do you think?
Yes, that was the whole situation because he would duck me. Once I hit him with a good shot and hurt him, he started to grab my head and pull me down.
Did you think, whether or not the punches were low, that they were hard enough to put him in the kind of agony he appeared to be in?
He was faking. He was scared. He's been trying to hug me. He's been holding my hand. I don't say nothing bad. I'm glad he's okay.
All right, let's take a look at this last knockdown, and you describe what you see.
Oh, see, I went at him, and I hurt him with the jab. See, but now I was going to go finish him. I jabbed him again. Well, he'll try to grab my head now. You'll see it when he tries to get me.
Ryan Day.
That was right there, a good body shot.
Ryan Day.
All right, you've said, Johnny, that every time you fight a fight, that it makes up for some kind of problem in your past. How does this feel?
It feels good. I'd like to give a lot of thanks to Bob Benn, the greatest promoter, that helped me, stuck with me through thick and thin, and also HBO for guiding me and giving me an opportunity.
What do you see next for yourself?
I left that to Mr. Aaron. Whatever he tells me to do, I'll do it.
Quickly, Bob, what do you see as next?
Well, sure, the fight that everybody wants to see is Johnny against Danny Romero. Johnny got a hell of a manager in Sugar Ray Leonard, and maybe he can persuade the Romero people to take the fight.
All right, let's talk to Sugar Ray Leonard in his role as a manager. I don't think I've interviewed in the ring in this role yet. Nice to see you again, Ray. Give us your feelings about Johnny Tapia and what he can still accomplish in boxing.
I think it's impressive what he's done thus far. He's made an incredible comeback from a personal standpoint, and now he's in the ring. He's very serious, Larry. And I think, like, to reiterate on what Bob said, the fight that people want to see is Danny Romero and Johnny Tapia.
How have you tried to talk to him, to deal with him, and to try to keep him focused on his prize fighting because of the unrest that he's had from his background?
Well, being more than just a co-manager, to be a friend, to be a listening box for him, because there's a lot of things that Johnny wants to express to people. I've been able to comprehend with that, and it's a good relationship, it's good chemistry, and it's like giving back too.
Thanks a lot, Ray. Let's now talk to Giovanni Andrade, and here he is with our interpreter. Giovanni, tell us what happened in your view in this fight?
Yo venía muy bien en la pelea. Giovanni me agarró, sabe que no se puede jugar, hacer una pelea tan mal. Me pegó abajo una cachetada, que pegó un golpe bajo, te vas a mirar el tape, pero no se puede. Yo lo quiero revancha con él, seguramente. Yo venía bien, lo quiero pelear, yo quiero ser campeón.
I came real well into the fight. I was doing real well, but Johnny hit me a low blow. You can't hit a low blow. I like a rematch. We'll make this over again.
He says that that you were pulling his head down, and that's why he hit you low. What is your response to that?
Él dijo que tú le bajaste.
Yes, and take a look and watch.
Mira, vamos a hacer el tape. Tú le bajabas la cabeza así, y por eso fue que él te dio.
No, no bajaba la cabeza, me agarró feo. Ahí está el tape, ahí está el tape. Yo lo quiero revancha con él. Esa fue la primera vez.
I want a rematch. That was the first low blow.
Esta es la primera vez, esta es la segunda vez.
That was in the first low.
Quiero revancha con él, yo quiero.
That's what I'm asking for.
All right, now here once again is the second low blow. This one is around Tierra del Fuego, he thinks. How does he view it?
Ahora viene el segundo y ese fue bajo. ¿Qué tú crees?
Yo quiero, míralo. Ahí está.
If you can see it, look at it. It looked like on the borderline.
It looked like on the borderline, you admit. Is it possible you have some kind of a problem with your cup?
¿Algún problema con el protector que no te puedo proteger todo?
No sé, pero está bien el protector. Está bien, pero el segundo
The cup is perfectly well. The second low blow was really flagrant.
Thank you very much. Jim?
All right. Thanks very much, Larry Merchant. Roy Jones, let's give Andrade the ultimate benefit of the doubt. Go as far as we can. Any way that either of those two blows could have damaged him as much as he appeared to be damaged?
No way. Neither of these blows even hit the mark. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he came in with his trunks high. The referee should have told him earlier, he should have warned him and said that I'm not counting these shots low because his trunks were so high. Anytime you come in with your trunks that high, you're looking for a reason to quit anyway. So, I mean, if anything, Andrade, he could stay out here and try, you know, for a role somewhere in Hollywood for a movie because it's basically a big action show.
Well, what about Raul Caiz stopping the fight? And incidentally, we're not allowed by the California State Athletic Commission to interview the referee, so we can't hear what Caiz has to say about it. It seems to me that it's possible they should be still fighting if Andrade had thought that at some point he could have continued.
I don't know. I think the referee saw that Andrade really didn't want to fight, and Andrade got down on the floor and started kicking like he's throwing fists and all. He's not going to get up, you know what I'm saying? And the ref probably felt the same way, so why even waste his time?
Everybody wants to see Johnny Tapia against Danny Romero. What kind of a fight would that be?
That would be what you call a barn burner.
That would be sensational indeed.
Excellent fight.
Coming up here, the second.